Okay, so we're going to fix some of those issues that we identified in the last video. Now, with enemy 4 selected, if I go over to his animator, what I had to do in order to get him to actually die was from the enemy to transition back to the enemy bat attack. I had to click on this and give it a condition that die is equal to false. Okay, and then obviously which it always will be until he's actually dead. Before it was basically just attacking him, and even though his health was below 0, it was never getting to the enemy death. Okay, so just make sure you update that with the conditions for that to work. Now you may have seen in the console at the bottom here that I've had this 0, and as you can see here in the console, I'm seeing that I'm taking the damage off the character. Okay, so in order to be able to see that, it's just this line here on the enemy health script. So I've simply said debug.log enemies health. Okay, whenever you do a debug.log, it will basically just print directly to the console so you can see what's happening. And that was useful in order that I could debug an issue to make sure I was actually killing the enemy. Okay, but now I'm sure that that's working, I can just take that out. Okay, which is easy enough. Alright, so whenever we've killed the enemy, then we want to totally disable what's going on with him. So we can do that in the animation itself, in the enemy death animation. So let's just click on enemy death, go to the animation itself. Actually, it's not necessary to go to the animation itself. We can just use the enemy 4 as long as we've got him selected, and we can go to the animation and animation, and then we're looking for enemy death. Okay, so this is the death animation. Alright, so he just spins around and falls on the ground there. And you may have noticed actually that I've got these blend shapes at the top here. I'll just show you what these are doing. So when the character dies, you can see that now his eyes are closed and his mouth opens. Okay, so the blend shapes allow you to control his facial animations. So if you click on body, you'll see here that you've got all these blend shapes that control his facial animations, and you can animate those just like anything else. So you just press record and you just change these values accordingly as you go through it. Okay, so really easy to do. Okay, so first of all, when the enemy is actually dying, if we run away from him, he will actually slide across the ground toward us, and we don't want that to happen. We want him to die in the spot where we actually did kill him. So we're going to press record, and we're going to go to enemy 4, and we're going to, I'll just bring this in a little bit so we can see. We're going to switch off first of all the enemy attack script, so we're going to disable that, and as you notice it goes red to let us know that we have disabled it. And we're also going to disable this nav mesh agent as well. Okay, so it will no longer slide around after us. We also need to disable his enemy hit point because we don't want to continue hitting him. So what we're going to do there is just switch that off. And also his bat as well. We don't want to be damaged by his bat. So let me just find his bat there. There it is. Weapon cube, I believe, is the thing that's actually damaging us. So we just want to also disable that as well. And that one, weapon cube, appears there at the bottom. Okay. So now, when he plays through the animation, all of that stuff should be disabled. So now nothing should be active on the character. You can also disable the nav cube as well if you want, actually. That should automatically be disabled anyway, but just to be sure, just to ensure that it's not come back on or anything, we can obviously just click nav cube and disable it. Okay, so when he dies, we're switching everything off, and that will obviously update that animation. Now the music, the chase music, will still be going on. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to write a new script that's going to switch that music off. So let's just right click, choose create and C# script, and I will call this enemy dead. Okay, and let's just double click to open this. So first of all, I need a serialized field of type game object, and it's going to be chase music. So all I can do in the start is say chase music dot game object dot set active to false. Okay, so it basically just switches it off. We don't need an update. It's only gonna run when the character's dead. We only want it to run once, and then that will basically totally reset the character. So let's save this, and we want to place this when it updates. We want to place this on enemy 4. So enemy dead, let's just drag onto enemy 4. Okay, and now we want that to be okay, first of all we need to associate the chase music with this script, so let's do that first of all. So that should be on FPS controller. Let me close some of this down, and chase music cube. Let's just drag that into there. And by default, we don't want him to start with this activated, so we're going to switch this off. Now we're going to go back to our enemy 4. As long as we've got enemy 4 selected, animation, animation, and we're going to choose enemy death. Okay, and roughly about here, we're now going to switch that script on. Okay, so as long as that script is switched on, the enemy music, the chase music goes off, and that's it, and it will never play again for that character, no matter how far away we get from that character, etc. Alright, so that should have fixed those issues, and feel free to play through it and just kind of refine the attacks to your liking.